Alright, I have stuff to do. Gotta charge my battery, do laundry and stuff like that. So I don't even know who this video is for, if it's on my channel, if I'm just sending it to my mother. Alright, hi mom. Let's just make it to you. Alright, it'll probably be in my personal playlist. Um, here's why I'm tired. Because, so just now, having a chat with someone that was making a video, and someone walks by and said hi, and then later walked back by again when I had finished the video and chatted a little bit. Um, and also because I have another about that video, I have another thing on my mind that I gotta add to the. I gotta edit this video and hurry up and write this thing down before I forget it. And as a thing, a title on the video, a note on the video. Anyway, so um, I'm talking to this woman. My dog was tied up. We were talking. He started to whine, so I let him go. He went to the beach where there was a friend of his and a human friend of mine and a friend of his as well. So he was hanging out over there. I'm chatting with the Lithuanian, and then a woman approaches. Huh. She's gonna be here very soon. She's about 50 meters away. Neo's got to be about 150 meters away at the water, hanging out with Vicky and Tony. So I can, if I call him now, that's not gonna be good. I can't guarantee that he'll stop at me, that he won't go to her, to smell her, see who the hell's coming into his onto his beach. Um, Now I could wait for her to get close to me, then call him. But anyway, what I did, I saw how far away he was, and I asked her, "Are you afraid of dogs?" She said no. I said okay, because there are two dogs over there on the beach where you're about to go, and they won't do anything, but one of them is gonna run up to you to smell you. And she was fine until she starts walking towards the beach, and she sees the two dogs, and Neo hears us talking, and so he starts to. I don't know whether he started to come over. I don't know whether he noticed us, but she sees him running over there. Not coming over necessarily, but being over there and running. And she goes, "Oh, but that one's pretty big." Oh, right, because at first she said, "Oh, yeah, okay, I'm a little bit nervous." Then I started to call him, and she said, "Oh, it's your dog? Oh, okay, then that's fine." Then she saw him and was like, "Oh, he's kind of big." And so then I was like, "All right, no worries. I'm gonna get him over here and I'll tie him up, and then you go enjoy the beach." And so then he came over. I didn't really make an effort for him not to go over to her. So he did kind of charge her and smell her, and then smelled the Lithuanian because he hadn't done that, because when I'd let him go, he had just run straight to the beach. And so then I tied him up, and the woman thanked me a few times, uh, and I don't know. We were kind of chatting. I didn't really understand the interaction, but she was just talking about, like, in general, dogs in general, and she's not afraid. But sometimes a dog can have a bad reaction. And then I said, yeah, and it's sometimes it's better to meet a dog for the first time when the owner is nearby. And she was like, yeah. So I felt a little bit better about having let him go smell her, and she was fine. She just turned away as he approached, and I think she felt reassured knowing that I was there and stuff. And so anyway, so I was glad we were able to establish that in that little interaction after I've tied him up before she goes and enjoys the beach. She goes and enjoys the beach. Gosh, well, I bet this story could have been told in about 15 seconds. I don't know how. My brain couldn't have done it, but anyway, she goes to the beach. Now Vicky and I are talking by the vehicle. Okay, so that's not an important detail, but you're picturing it, and I feel like that's gonna come up. So anyway, so Vicky and Tony are now by the vehicle. The woman has the beach all to herself. She comes over, and gives me a little wave, and thanks me again. And then Vic and explains to Vicky that she was a little nervous, and I first of all I didn't hesitate to find out whether she would be a little nervous, and then even when she was kind of on the fence, I went ahead and made the decision for her. I understand that she might, when you're on the fence, you're not going to say, you're not going to go on the side of, yeah, please call your dog and blah, 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 maybe. You're going to err on the side of politeness. So, okay, I'll just deal with it. All right, here I am. She didn't say all this, because now I'm just tooting my own horn. All right, so she said, well, here's what I liked. She said, there are not a lot of people that would have done that. Referring to me checking in with her, and then me calling Neo over here and tying him up. And I'm tired because of how that made me feel. Now, if there's some kind of a therapy or something that would make me just appreciate that, I guess, without any negative consequences, then hey, I'm all ears. And maybe I won't be, I don't have to be so tired, maybe. But for now, it seems like I am only going to get more tired. And so let me explain why. So, I think I forgot I'm talking to you, man. So, because that's not rare for me, to do those things. I also knew that Neo would not do anything to her. Worst case scenario, but I couldn't imagine it, because it is kind of a long enough beach where she could just be there and they're over there, but he could get her wet by shaking near her, but I doubt it. Because yeah, he wouldn't be playing near her; he'd be over on the other side. So anyway, and also he hasn't really been going in the water. So anyway, so this was a very standard behavior of mine that I think is representative of how I interact with or regard other people and their needs and the space that we share and so on. The fact that it was so rare to get that kind of feedback, despite that that's my natural behavior. It's not that I need the feedback. It's really what it is when you compare that feedback to the other feedback that I get. One time, for instance, I was living in the woods, and this guy that I had met at a party a few years ago, and we had always thought the other was smart, and so sometimes we would interact on posts on Facebook or something, but never really interacted. Anyway, You want to come inside? You want to chill with us? So Fabrizio. So I got nothing against the guy. When I met him at the party, he had long hair. He was like talking about philosophy. He wasn't like just wearing like a t-shirt, and he's just, I think he has a little bit of facial hair. Just, not a pretty boy at all. Not so, just like a kind of guy you would imagine it. I don't know, in a coffee. I don't know. Anyway, I remember when he arrived, I'm living in a tent in the woods, and this dude comes in slacks and like this smart dress shirt. His hair is like combed. He's cut it since I saw him 5 years prior. and not at all sort of the, and he was this Catholic, which I knew he was Colombian. I thought he was a cool Colombian. I didn't know he was one of like the rich Catholic Colombians. Anyway, none of that's relevant. So he I had only had Neo for definitely less than a year, maybe only a few months. I was still getting used to the process of having guests. So basically, typically what I would do is when the guests were near the camp, I would go with Neo over to meet them and then walk over to the camp. We would walk over to the camp, the three of us, the guest, me, and Neo. And this way he would understand, okay, they are welcome. So I assume I did something like that. Um, or sometimes people would annoy me and they would just come straight to my camp despite my instructions. Maybe is that what happened? Because I do feel like he got barked at. Yeah. I think that he wanted, he could see my camp from where I told him to meet. So he's just like, I'll just go to the camp, even though thought I'd explained about the dog. Okay, I don't know, but anyway, so he comes over to the camp, and Neo sees him, and Neo barks. But Neo's tied up. But rah, 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 rah. Who the fuck are you? All right, so gosh, I don't really know what happens next. So we're just gonna skip to the important bit. We're sitting at a table on my camp, and there's not going to be an attack or any kind of climactic story. Remember what we're talking about. Oh, I'm talking to you, Mom. I don't have to. Okay. You'll sit through anything. All right. So, we're sitting there at the table, and Neo is tied up on a chain, on a metal, iron, whatever they're made of, like a link chain. He's on a link chain. He's tied up to where the closest you can get to us, a couple meters. And Fabrizio starts asking me, can he break that chain? He's not even barking anymore. He's just chilling now. He's just looking at us. We're sitting there at the table. We've been talking or something. Can Neo break that chain? What if he really wants to come over here? He could break that chain, right? And I don't know whether they've met. I don't know. Fabrizio might have refused. He might have seen him bark, and he was like, no, thank you. I don't want to meet him. I'd rather just come onto his territory. It doesn't bother me at all to come onto his territory and not let him smell me, because I came in fucking slacks and I'm scared of dogs. Even though I grew up with a German Shepherd. Or maybe I'm confusing him with another Colombian Catholic straight edge who visited me and who was uncomfortable with Neo, even though Neo never did anything to him. That guy definitely had grown up with two German Shepherds in Colombia. Wait, is he Colombian? Anyway, Fabrizio definitely is. Okay. I could probably have told this story in 12 minutes, but not. Anyway, all right. So, or I could have done this whole video in 12 minutes. All right. So anyway, I'm not the whole video, not what's coming, just what I've done so far. So my point is, I've only noticed a couple things we could have left out. Okay. So, gosh, Booger Town. Were you thinking this could have been left out? I'm not gonna add it, bro. Just all right. So, but you're my mother. Forgot. So, what am I gonna do with these boogers up? I'm not even hungry. Okay. So, I think it's it's such a silly question. Like, what do you mean? I've been living here a couple months. This is how I tie him up. that means that every day since I've been tying him up this way, he hasn't been able to break it. Or what are you talking about? It's a chain, bro. So I didn't understand really why he kept asking me. I don't remember exactly what his questions were, but he kept asking me questions like that. Could he break it? Has he ever broken it? It was and that's like, what do you mean? Has he already broken? Yeah, he's already. That chain is actually broken. Yes. Or yeah, he broke the previous chain, so I just bought the same chain, and just waiting for him to break it again. What are you talking about? And at some point, he asked me to put the muzzle on Neo. And I think because I had the muzzle on him when maybe they met, if they did meet, I think, yeah, I don't know. And but at some point I took the muzzle off because he's tied up on a fucking chain over there and we're over here. So he asked me whether I can put the muzzle on, and it's like, bro, I'm trying to accommodate, but I'm already feeling bad that my dog sees this man on the property that he doesn't know at all, that he hasn't gotten a chance to check out at all. And he's over there sometimes whining. This is his fucking home, not yours. It's barely even mine. Humans need papers for it to be their home. Other animals just need to be there. So it's really his home. So what the fuck are you talking about? He's on a chain. He's over there, feeling helpless, thinking he doesn't know you and he can't protect me if anything happens. And you want me to make it so he can't even lick himself like I don't know whether you just heard that, but he was just licking himself. He likes licking himself, you know? What were you licking? Your foot there? Yeah. And look, all right, maybe you don't know. Why? No! So, anyway. I didn't get upset or anything. This was our first time hanging out. I was eager. I wasn't in that mood. I was very confused and amused by sort of the silliness of it and the fact that he just couldn't be reassured. How do you need the dude to be with the muzzle? He's chained up all the way over there. And so I was like, oh, Mario, you gotta understand. Not Mario. That was the other one. Fabrizio, I mean, you gotta feel me on this. I'm trying to accommodate for both of y'all, but you know, I mean, he's over there. He's not going to break that chain. He's like, how do you know? And I'm like, look, I'm tempted, and I couldn't move on. I couldn't think about anything else because if someone asked me for something for comfort, I feel an obligation to give that to them. So I was pretty stuck because here's Neo is asking me to let him free, and I know that he's not going to do anything, and I know that there would be zero bad things that would happen. Well, unless Mario got super scared and decided to try to fight Neo, then Neo would be like, "Oh, we fighting?" At Mario Fabrizio. Or, but anyway, and so I feel an obligation towards my dog. And of course you're my guest and another human being, and so a co-species member. So I feel an obligation towards you. Those obligations are in conflict. I feel like I've already honored my obligation towards you. You are completely 100% not only safe from a bite, but safe from even having to worry about a bite. Objectively speaking, there is zero possibility of anything bad happening to you. So, I mean, as low of a possibility as a plane hitting us. So, so I can't then continue to, neglect my obligation to him, to Neo. Like, you gotta hear reason, bro. You gotta. I was in pain, bro. I was in pain. And that's probably also where the smile is coming from, a sort of a discomfort with, like, what do we do here? and then not to mention the discomfort of he's like slowly being more honest about what he wants and about his fear. Um, and I'm trying to read between the lines, but also he is kind of straightforward. So it's, at some point he says, "I would prefer if you like put the muzzle on," and I go, "Oh, that's what's going. I would love to, but I would hate to. What if I assure you he's on a fucking chain, Boba?" All right. Anyway, oh my gosh, have we made any progress in the last 6 minutes? All right. Well, here's the punchline. He says to me, "I'm getting the feeling that you've got a little bit of a sadistic side to you. You seem to be quite enjoying my discomfort here. And you're like trying to, rather than just like putting the muzzle on him, or shortening the chain, you're like making it so he can get within 2.5 meters of me. You don't have the muzzle on. You're smiling, kind of getting the feeling that you're really quite enjoying this, huh?" So that, my own father once, Neo got in a little barking match with someone, with another dog. I know Neo. I know that he doesn't bite. The woman freaks out, even though her dog could have handled himself, even if it were an actual fight. They were the same size. But she absolutely freaks out. She like she's incredibly strong. You would not have thought it. She was just an attractive but fairly slim woman. Very, I mean, a mother's pulling her baby out from under a tire. I mean, she just grabs these two dogs. I was amazed. Um, and maybe that's why I smiled. I don't know. And my dad goes, "Stop smiling. It looks like you're enjoying it." I mean, I'm not in a panic because no harm's gonna happen. He's not even gonna attack. Now, if it were a man grabbing him like that, he would probably do something definitely. But this small woman, he's just focused on the dog. He's not gonna do anything to her. And of course, he didn't. But all humans know that we don't just smile when we are getting pleasure from something. We smile when we are confused. We smile when we're anxious. We smile when we're amazed. We smile when we want to communicate to somebody that everything's okay. So I've smiled when Neo has been attacked. And so another time, for instance, I'm walking with a guy. He has his two dogs. I've got my dog. There's a big dog. He and Neo get in a confrontation. I think the other dog started it, but I don't really care because I'm confident enough that sort of it's just an exceptional instance. It's just it's an exception. It's not Neo didn't do anything particularly wrong. He didn't bite the other dog, so I'm not really bothered about them going like that at each other. And so in this case, I want to smile to let the other guy know everything's good. I'm not upset. And sort of any implicit apology is sort of already accepted. It's just two boys being boys. Any implicit apology from them because I thought that it was clear that his dog had started it. And he and a woman who had her dog, they say something, and I asked Francois, the guy I'm walking with, what they say, and he said they thought that you they said it looks like you're getting pleasure out of the dog combat. Another time I was interacting with someone, and this dude is up in my face. We had a bad sort of history, really, of him just talking shit about me. And he's getting up in my face, talking shit. And I'm off my bike because he said something about me having a bunch of whores. Because the boys in the woods were a little jealous that, I was because I was volunteering, I had met a number of nice women, and I dated 4 women from this volunteering thing in this year, and a lot of them came back to the woods, and so there was talk about these young, pretty, not homeless 20 somethings that Eris hangs out with. um it was just, I dated a woman, and then I dated a and so he says something about all your whores or something. So I get off my bike. I'm trembling. I'm ready to go, but also don't really want to do this because he's gone to prison for fighting. And my only fight, I got knocked out since high school. My only fight since high school, I got knocked out. So, but all right. Meanwhile, his dog, who's smaller than mine, but is kind of the same dog, they're over there, and they get into it. And he immediately switches from being in my face and we're like this to call your dog off. What, bro? Weren't you and I about to do the same thing? What, bro? No. I've been in fights where I had a dog snapping at me and a guy swinging at me. I'm not doing that today. Neo doesn't need to learn right now that y'all are friends. Y'all are foes. So should we just follow their example? I don't understand what's happening. What do you mean call him off? Your dog can take care of himself. Neo's not going to really do anything. Anyway, I didn't say this. I was just shocked. I was still in sort of fight mode or something, and also confused by why I was getting insulted so much. I'd never done anything to this guy. And anyway, so he exits fight mode because he wants to go protect his dog. So he like starts whipping at Neo or something because he's too afraid to break up the fight himself to get in there. He wasn't like that woman. He was she was such a piece of shit. Anyway, so he's like hitting Neo or something, or maybe like kicking him or something. Get up! But Neo was not on top of his dog, like going like this, just digging into his neck or anything. But the Neo did was often, as they're going like this, able to get on top. But when Neo dominates, he goes like this. He's like, "You chill the fuck out." He doesn't do anything else after that. And then every time he got kicked or would move away, because I would tell him sometimes, stop it, and so then he was kind of conflicted. Anyway, we separate ways, and I hear that Gary's very upset because I was getting off on watching our dogs fight. And then, as you know, recently I had someone say that my dog attacked their dog. Didn't even make sense to me. Their dog came over. My dog was tied up. And also my dog didn't do anything. So I was like, did he bite? I don't understand like why you're acting like there's a problem right now. I get that you're scared. I didn't say that I get that you're scared. I was just like, nothing has happened. She was like, I was like, is there blood? Like, what's going on? She goes, you want to see blood? I was like, I mean, I want to know if... She's like, you're fucking sick. And then a week later, her friend makes some accusations about Neo. I go, but he wasn't even there in that past situation. So what have you seen? You haven't even seen him argue with another dog. What are you talking about? And what, has he ever bitten another dog? He's even argued with another dog here, I don't think. Oh no, that's not true, because the time when I was talking to him, I had seen the other woman since then in that place. And her dog came up and attacked Neo from behind. And so then Neo was like, what the fuck, bro? And was like, arr! And they were both like, arr! So he had seen an argument. In any case, and so he does this, pulls out the same thing. I go, and I guess this isn't necessarily a belief of this guy that I'm talking about now, because basically I said, have you ever seen him bite, Neo bite anyone? And he goes, um, what, you want to see him bite? You want him to bite people. You want to provoke that, blah, blah, blah. Now, these aren't necessarily indications of what they actually believe or anything like that, or what they necessarily would believe in the future. It's just one it that came out as part of the Ajing system to justify some previous it. And the previous it was like, my friend is correct, you're in the wrong. And so then the system just came up with whatever to you're wrong, I'm right. And one of those things was, I heard you just say something about a bite being a useful piece of information. Bite useful? You're wrong, I'm right. You just said a bite is good. But the thing is that because these systems don't know that they are systems, they don't actually even understand. The system doesn't really know how to treat a singular it as a singular it. And so what ends up happening is anything I do after that point that isn't extremely obviously and undeniably a good thing, any facial expression I make, anything that their system isn't just completely compelled is like an angelic thing, will be used as justification. Because once that it comes out, because the system doesn't know, oh, that's just one it, we don't have to obey that. First of all, there's programming for once there's one it triggers Ajing, right? It always finds reinforcements, okay? And then, because the entire system doesn't know that it's a system, on top of those reinforcements being found, even the guys who could have maybe competed with that original it at its reinforcements go along with it because we all have to be on the same team, we believe. I mean, everybody in here. But no, the amazing thing about 100 billion neurons and 100 trillion connections is that there can't first of all be one team, and also there doesn't need to be one team. The idea is that you have competition between your thoughts and feelings and judgments, interpretations, etc. So, so whether or not it's just a singular thought, it ends up kind of being the same in today's world. And I've seen this where, a little thing like that, a little thing like me saying, did he bite anyone? Oh, you want him to bite someone. A little thing like that. And then the next time, I don't fucking know. It can be anything. The human brain is so good at justifying literally anything. If you don't believe me, look at the things that human brains believe. And if you think that those human brains are just different from yours and you're reasonable and they're not, you're wrong. Turn off this channel. You're not ready. So anyway. Oh, I forgot I'm talking to my mother. So anyway. So oh gosh, this one's supposed to be 13 minutes. I gotta do that title. I gotta go do laundry. All right. So, but I just want to make sure. I just want to. Every time I think about a piece of evidence, I want to give it to you because I want you to understand, Ma, that as a guy who operates on a normal basis in the way that I do, with a consideration, a concern to know other people's needs and so on. Now, and that concern stops as soon as they tell me they don't have a need, sort of. I mean, no. I mean, if I've just met them, I'll investigate a little further, but I can't do that the entire relationship. Be like, come on, tell me what's wrong. I mean, I could, but I got a lot of stuff going on here, so it just doesn't happen. But I do have immense concern to learn from you and your words about how you're feeling and stuff. But I'm not gonna go in there and dig a whole bunch. I mean, I'm probably gonna see things in there anyway, just through our conversations. But I'm not gonna go mining in there when you. Anyway. So anyway, Booger Town. So. So I'm tired because well, I think I've explained it. I've maybe given you a conclusion, but you understand. I'm tired because it's not like I can count on that. Uh, I have to pretend like I wasn't seen in that moment. When she gave me that compliment, I had to pretend. I had to. I had to show, sort of appreciation for having heard it, and also internally send it to the shredder, kind of, or not the shredder, but I had to go file it away. Do not think about what she just said. Do not feel seen as you are right now, because the only way you've been able to make it this far is that in the last several years, since like 2019, you learned not to invest too much in how other people interpret you. Because if you keep that channel open, well, you just got flooded with the hate mail. So I'm talking about myself, I had to figure out a different way to sort of see myself or evaluate myself or get feedback or something. We're not going to get into all that, but the point is that when a stranger who seems polite, I 100% believe her compliment, and it's not, by the way, everybody who would say that out loud, and that would seem to be really important to her to say that based on the fact that she said it, or maybe she's just the type of person who she just loves to say that, but it seemed really meaningful to her, and she seemed to almost not even be able to find the words. In any case, that feels so nice, especially with what I'm used to. So that feels so nice to do what I think is a good moral, but also normal thing that just humans sort of owe to each other. True, a responsibility that a lot of other humans don't seem to be influenced by, that don't seem to slap too much in their brains. If there's an it in my mind that goes, if people judge you, then they're gonna misjudge you. It's what it's like to be on the spectrum or whatever. And then I get this piece of counter evidence. Here's a person judging me who I think is judging me accurately and who has a favorable judgment. If I let that respond to my it, because right now I have the it, if people judge you, then it will be negative. And because I've just accepted that, because the system has accepted that, or maybe what it means that it's accepted that is that there's another it, rather than trying to deny it, there's another it that is like, oh yeah, don't be too worried about what other people think. Took a lot of time, but that it found its place in here, and it's pretty good. It's pretty strong. I mean, I obviously super strong because I'm making a 33-minute video because a woman said, "Wow, you're nice." So you can see, you can just see, based on what's happening, the delivery, my behavior for recording a 40-minute video so far. You can see that the effect that a comment like that has on me. And it's just really scary because I just can't, I don't see how my system can handle life if it takes into account what she said. If I at all think, oh, what other people think of me can be true and worth listening to, then the next person who says, oh, You're a piece of shit. You want your dog to attack people and dogs. I don't have the arrogance to be like, oh, that I'm not going to listen to. So I have to not listen to any of it. You understand? And that's exhausting because then that in of itself is exhausting. I can't enjoy a compliment. Some compliments I can. Tell me I'm handsome. Tell me I'm funny. Neither of those things have ever been, you know, questioned. Tell me I'm smart. But if it's something related to smart, which is that if you tell me, oh, Eris, I think you figured out something that a lot of people don't know, I gotta shut that down because I can't, I don't know, shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up. I have to work so hard every day for people to not see me as arrogant. Do stop that. Stop it. Even if that's true, that I happen to have come to an understanding that is not particularly popular in the time that I came to that understanding. Although it will, if I came to that understanding, other people will as well, so it will be popular soon. But I maybe came to it by chance, by my experiences, by the needs of my life, by some of my faculties, even my capacities. I came to that conclusion before other people. Stop. I can't count on that because then when the next person, when I start to, when I share one of these ideas with them and they say, do you ever listen to other people? Do you ever like think that it's possible that you might be wrong about something? No, you just think that you're some kind of a messiah that's figured out something that everybody else is too fucking stupid to understand, huh? So the thing I'm mentioning now is from a when I interviewed a guy. He said something. Oh no, don't say that. You can't say that. You can't say that. And why you can't say that? Because I don't want any of the it's to. I have to. I don't want to ever say in a conversation without a whole bunch of hesitation beforehand, a whole bunch of like here's what I can say in a conversation. Sometimes like because of how much time I've been able to spend trying to learn about the mind and wondering about the mind, like everybody does, but a lot of people, well, not everybody just spends their time just hold up, think about their brain. So I'm the loser, really. And because I'm such a loser, and let's not forget that, I sometimes like get this impression that maybe I have something useful to like contribute because I just think that's so important. I love learning from other people. My idea is basically it's things that I've learned from other people. It's not I didn't just observe the world and understand these things. And sometimes so sometimes I think that I just had this a silly impression that and then I'll make in trying to be sort of humble, I'll make a mistake of talking about IQ. I'll be like, I just got lucky that I've got some pretty good comprehension mechanisms anyway, but mostly the time thing and me being holed up, and so I think that maybe there's something that like, or maybe I'm phrasing in a way that can be like useful to other people, and sometimes I try to share that with other people because I think an exchange is so important, and I've learned so much from other people. Of course, one thing is that because everybody is a brain, the brain actually is kind of pre-programmed with ideas about itself. So sometimes I find myself like I've read about like just like little things about the brain. And anyway, and it'll kind of conflict with someone's sort of intuitive. It'll be kind of counterintuitive, and so like maybe I can. So I don't even know how to. Anyway, I could do something like that. I only exaggerate like this much. In the heat of the conversations, I won't be as focused on that, so it would be less than that. But it wouldn't be as bad as me saying, actually, I've done a bunch of reading about this, and I've like tested super smart. So I'm like pretty good at understanding. Like I mean, like I'm pretty exceptional at understanding things, and this is how it seems to me. I'm not saying that this is like the truth, or that you know that you should only listen to me, but I do think that what you're saying is wrong, and I think I can explain to you why it's wrong. I think I understand what's happening, and also I've done so much reading about this. I could share a lot that could demonstrate that this is true, and ask me any questions, blah blah. That, oh my gosh, I couldn't do that. Hell no. Hell no. Hell no. I mean, I could do it if I were white, maybe, or certain Asians and nerdy. Anyway, if I had some association with academia, like just a racial association, and if I wasn't in this camper, if I was, if I, was paid by society, um, um, obviously those things would help. But since I'm not going to have those things, the best I can do is be citing experiment after experiment after experiment, listening to you, talking about the different components, asking you questions, answering your questions, and but fuck no. 30 seconds in, and oh yeah, not to mention how much trouble do I get in when I don't realize that I'm not supposed to answer the questions I'm getting asked. Or I don't realize that I need to be more brief in my answers. So let's suppose someone asks me a question. I give an answer, however long. Okay? We don't have to imagine an hour. Let's say it's like a 2-minute answer, 3-minute answer. Then they ask me another question. Okay, 30 seconds. Another question. Okay, 2 minutes. Another question. All right, well, now they keep asking me questions about the brain. These its are really starting to wake up here. So this 4 minutes. Another question. 2 minutes. Another question. 15 seconds. Another question. 3 minutes. And then I find out, wow, you don't give a shit about anybody else, right? You just want to monologue and hog the conversation. Hold on. I thought they were interested in some of the stuff that was in here. They kept asking me questions, so I was giving it there. I actually felt uncomfortable at the time. I kept going, oh shit, that person hasn't spoken. I just keep talking. But I didn't want to be rude and say, oh, I'm not going to talk anymore. And then when I do say, oh, hey, yeah, but, I've talked so much. What they say is, oh, no, but I love this stuff. Oh, no, it's so interesting hearing you talk about it. Okay, yeah, but I don't know. I mean, were you going to say something earlier? I say to somebody who's been totally silent. Oh, Eris is such an asshole. Did you see how I put her on the spot like that? She was perfectly fine, enjoying the conversation, listening to it. And he's like, oh, and so what about you? You got some shit to say? Oh, my God. And then you ask them questions, and they're so used to playing the game of giving the shortest answer possible and sending it back to the other person that they just keep giving you short answers, and you think that they're giving you complete answers because you're a fucking idiot, me. So I'm over here thinking, okay, you've answered my question. We're all giving complete answers here. But in fact, I was supposed to follow up with them, repeat what they said so that they would then give more details and stuff. And that's fine that we have different styles, and I'm happy to adjust. It's so tiring. How easy it is to be to not to mention every interaction, by the way. I'm not, 7 moves ahead. I'm not analyzing and stuff like that. But often enough, I'm about to say something, or maybe I say it, and yeah, oh shit, that could be taken that way, maybe that could be, and so, and that's fucking exhausting. So here they are asking me questions about the brain and stuff, and I'm like, oh gosh, am I answering too much, blah blah, and then I say to them, oh, I'm talking too much. They tell me they love it, but everyone has always told me that. No one has ever said in a conversation, yeah, I mean, you are going on a bit, but there is one piece that's kind of interesting to me. But yeah, I do feel like we should move on soon. But can you just quickly try to answer this one last question for me? Oh gosh, how nice would that be? And I've told you about examples of just where people said how they were feeling, and I know that people are polite. They get less polite when they think they're in front of a monster than they get, oh yeah, but I almost hate that it's like, fuck, it's possible for a human to see that? Like that woman, appreciating me so much. It's like, oh shit, that is possible? No, do not count on it. 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 Please. The guy in the interview, he said, I said, do you want to add anything? Because towards the end of the interview, I kind of monologued. So I said, do you want to add anything? He said, no, I think you summed it up pretty well. I think you should stop interviewing and just monologue. And I was like, what? Are you making fun of me? He goes, no, really. I think you've figured out, and there's no point asking dumb people questions. And I go, oh, don't say the D word, but I mean, yeah, I kind of know some. I learned some stuff, and yeah, I could maybe teach other people, and maybe like their contribution isn't like 50% on the thing that I've been studying for 20 years, maybe, I don't know. So yeah, I mean, I guess obviously the interviews are great. I really enjoy them. Monologuing, I do that too, but that's not gonna do the trick. Um, but that woman ruined my day. Gosh, how much I would love to be used to that. Obviously, there are people. Obviously, I've gotten some of the best compliments in the world as far as being appreciated for my concern for other people and willingness to help other people. Gosh, the compliment Zoe gave me. Gosh, you're always there for me, blah blah. And then what? No, actually, you just wanted me to stay in love with you, and you were actually manipulating me. That's what did it for Francis. He thought maybe what I can do is I'll ignore the people that don't really know me, and the people that know me, I can count on them. And that did it for Francis. That was like, oh, so I actually have no way of knowing whether I'm good or bad besides my own bias and evaluations. That's what you're telling me? Oh, fuck. And even if I'm not doing things wrong in these situations, clearly I'm causing pain and discomfort. So let me just be out here. Let me just be out here, bro. Let me just get some more work done. My monologues will be published. I'm not in y'all space. I'm not interacting with y'all. Y'all came here to this channel. Oh, Mom, hi. Well, I sent this to you. So in this case, oh no, Mom can't watch an hour-long video. All right, whatever. That's fine. Maybe she'll be driving sometime this week and she can throw it on. And this is sort of the worst thing now. Not the worst thing, but something I just imagine now that's kind of unfortunate is that, see, someone younger than me, or dumber, could think that a child would think, things are turning around. You've got some friends here on the island. You haven't had a single dramatic sort of misjudgment situation on the island, except for like a couple like little awkward things with Fred, but just like where I said something and he thought I called it messy or wanted him to clean it up or was ordering him to clean it up, but actually not at all. Anyway, so all right, I'll tell you about that real quick. So he won a hand in poker and he got a bunch of 100 chips, but his stacks weren't together, so I couldn't compare our money. And I had actually thrown the hand because he had been really insecure. He kept, oh, I haven't played in forever, blah, blah. So I had already previously won, the entire game. So now it's like a week later or something. We played the night before, and we still were using the same chips. I was quite ahead, and he wouldn't admit that he wasn't enjoying himself. He wouldn't admit that he didn't want to play cards. I know now that he didn't really want to. We haven't played since. And we played games the first couple days we spent together because he just, oh yeah, okay, yeah, let's play some games, blah, blah, blah. But then we'd be distracted, like, anyway. And maybe he just wanted to play some games at the beginning. All right, whatever, sorry. So anyway, so it's the second night of this second game, and I'm like, this guy already knows I'm a lot smarter than he is. We talked about chess the first time we met, and he's avoided that chessboard like the plague since our first conversations. And he seems insecure about some stuff. Anyway, and then also he used to play rummy all the time when he was a kid, but we had tried that and he was losing, and so anyway, so I had to throw this hand. And so all of that to explain why, because that's how this brain has to work. I had said that I wanted to compare the things. I know how that sounds coming from this face. So you're like, oh yeah, because that's so important you to win. No, now you know that actually I wanted him to see that he was winning, take some pride in that. I want to show some pain in that to sort of re-stabilize things. And so I was like, oh, are you gonna? So I said, are you gonna stack those? Or I said, are you gonna organize those? That's what I said. And he said, no, it's fine like this. But of course, started organizing them because that's the power of the word of Eris, unfortunately. So literally, you say, no, it's fine. He starts stacking them. So Eris is feeling bad. Oh fuck, is he just stacking them? Does he think first of all that I was bothered because it looked messy? And now is he stacking them in order to just make me happy? Although he clearly seems to be. I mean, he doesn't. He's going, oh no, it's good like this. I mean, I can do a little bit. No, oh gosh, oh. So I go, no, I'm not asking you to clean it. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. I just wanted to compare our hundreds. He's meanwhile talking over me, saying, oh no, it's no problem. I don't mind. And so anyway, he's stacked now most of his hundreds. It's a higher stack than mine. So we're done. Please stop cleaning. What I wanted to achieve about you feeling good about yourself with the 100th stack, we have enough of that stack to achieve that, and we're only just now being counterproductive and make you feel good about yourself. So I was like, no, please stop. In fact, and so I undid the last chip that he had put on his pile. Or I don't know whether I did that, but I was like, oh no, stop. And then I said, all right, yeah, that's better. Because he's stopped, I guess. Or maybe what he was putting on. Because I swear to God, Eris, the power of Eris' word, it's such a burden. He was putting on the final hundreds maybe on his stack. And I go, no, really, you don't have to clean up. No, you don't need to do that. And so he puts them back on the table, and I go, okay, good, great, thank you. This way it looks less high. I feel like I've maybe already told this story, actually. I know I told you, Mom, sorry about that. Anyway, I'm not going to explain it, but anyway, the way that you say less high in French, and also the way you say less zoo in French, like less zooey, um, it can kind of sound the same if you make the mistake I do of doing the liaison, even though you're not supposed to in moi oh. So I said, oh good, now it looks moins zo, and he heard now it looks less zooey, and so he laughs, and I'm looking at that laugh, I'm thinking, and he repeated it back to me, but because I still thought you'd do the liaison, but it wasn't that funny what I said, and he looks like he's just being a champ about me taking a dig. So I'm thinking, does he think I just said less zooey when I was actually saying now good the sack is not it's not as high as it was about to be, so now I don't have to feel so bad. That was the whole point. I wanted to be like, oh good, now I can feel a little bit better because it's not twice the size of mine, only 1.5 times the size of my stack. That was where I was going with that, I guess. And he goes, ha ha ha, less zooey. And I go, oh, when you say less high, do you not? Because basically you can think of it as like, I said less zai, and imagine zai means messy. I don't know. All right, anyway. So I go, oh, you don't pronounce it less zai, it's just less high? And he goes, oh, yeah. If you want to say less high, it's less high. I was like, okay, that's what I was saying. I was not trying to say it looks less like a zoo. He's like, oh, okay. Okay. But besides little things like that, none of it has had, I don't think, he didn't come see me on my birthday. And when I was like, hey, you going to come by? He's like, oh, no, I got to get ready for my departure tomorrow. And also, I don't want to use gas for nothing. I'm 15 minutes away. What? So I don't know what. Also, I think that he thinks that I ditched him for a woman. And I guess, in some senses, because we had been spending 24/7 together. And then I ended up alternating my time. He was always busy and whatever. I'm tired. So, anyway, I don't have to think about all that stuff. I can be happy, easy breezy, because humans are just a funny thing that I study. And I know how I am, or how my mom says I am, and it doesn't match what they say. And look, I just can't investigate every time. Every time I get an accusation, I cannot try to deliberate. First of all, I wouldn't know how biased the deliberation is. I would not be able to then deliberate and evaluate, hey, was I in the wrong here? So, at some point, I'm 33. At some point, you have enough of these situations where you go, okay, unless there's some super compelling evidence or someone's super upset, it was a misunderstanding. What's in here has nothing to do with what is represented or talked about, what representations they have in there. But then you meet someone who, whoa, you saw that I'm kind of uniquely kind and conscientious. Your representation made me feel good and it matches mine. So then you open up that channel again. But I don't know that woman. So the channel gets open for everybody. All strangers. Anybody that... So we can't open that channel. And that's why I'm tired. I'm tired because it's so important to me to be good and moral. Love it. I get pleasure out of it. So I'm lucky that I don't need the acknowledgement for it to continue doing it as my default. But I'm tired because I'm seen as the opposite. I'm tired because I'm a human brain. I'm social. I want to have people that I can be myself with. And I don't. Probably won't. They're, like I've said to you, Mom, there's a possibility of a game changer. All I really need is one person, either a brother or a lover, who is both as smart as me or smarter, or at least near, in the same standard deviation at least, and who, sees me. But I'm not going to count on that, wait for that, suffer in the present now because I don't have that yet. No. I'm happy, I'm good. Neo, how do you feel? You're good, right? Right, buddy? Here, come on up here. Want to give me one of these? Yeah, go on. Alright. Maybe not. Maybe because you were lying down and stuff. Nobody's gonna believe you're my biggest fan. Anyway, so I'm just fucking tired, bro. I think I've mentioned a lot of things in this video that could tire someone. Doing good by itself, thinking about other people, that by itself is tiring. On top of that, having to constantly wonder how it's going to be interpreted, that's tiring. Having to deal with the rejection and loss or exclusion from a group that happens when it is misinterpreted, that's tiring. Not being able to relax with and just totally be yourself with someone, that's tiring. Because, well, anything that doesn't help you recharge can qualify as tiring, no? Fucking exhausted, bro. By the way, since we're just hanging out, I do have some advice, because I do, sort of talk openly about my desire to leave y'all, exit this party. I've had a lovely time, but just pretty tired. And I wouldn't want someone who has no business exiting to be inspired by me to exit. So, let's see part 2 of this video now. Maybe, because I think I've pretty much said everything I wanted to say about that lady's comment and how tired I am. So now, because I was going to make maybe a video about this anyway, but let's just put all this in one thing. So if you're really committed and watching, then you can see this. And otherwise, I'm not imposing, not wasting your time, because you wouldn't still be watching. Alright, so oh yeah, oh, and I also have to empty my toilet. Oh, I gotta be. Alright, so what was I saying? So, okay. So, first of all, I think you have to make it till you're 30. So I'm not going to tell you it gets better, but I am going to tell you that you can't really know whether it's shitty. And, because before you're 30, you change a whole lot. And you can change a bit after as well, but you change a whole lot before you're 30, so it might not get better, but you might get better. The second thing is, there might be lots of different possible it's. When you're 5 years old, your it is your family and school, and maybe your neighbors. When you're 25, when you're 15 years old, your it is, your high school situation and family and stuff. When you're 25 years old, it's, work or graduation or a romantic thing or graduate school or, whatever. And so you're going in all these different milieu, all right? I think 30, I feel like, So the prefrontal cortex, frontal lobe, kind of finishes its sort of development. I mean, it still changes, but it's developmental processes at like 26. Then you get like 4 years of sort of being you. And in most cultures, 26 and 30, not in most cultures, but many cultures, you've got a chance to check out some other stuff maybe. To have experienced a number of different sort of social networks, families, whatever. I got a few years of that, and then at 30, I think it's good. I'm in the epilogue, I think, of my life. This is the time where, basically you just try to make it to 30, and then you do your bucket list. That's what I would recommend. And I mean, we're not saying kill yourself at 30. What we're saying is, do not kill yourself before 30. And then at 30, if you don't really want to be here another 30 years, or maybe even 10 or whatever, start your bucket list. And maybe as you're checking things off your bucket list, you're having those experiences, you might find in it that is better. And by it, I'm not talking about a brain mechanism, but about the it from the slogan, it gets better. So one, I would put the age minimum at 30. 2, other criteria are, 2, don't do it when you're sad. That's almost like maybe reminds me of shopping for food when you're hungry. Sadness is not a state to exit in. So figure out a way to stop being sad. And sort of put suicide on the back burner. Anything that is making you think of suicide, you can just stop doing it if you want. Quit your job, move into the woods, do whatever. And your only focus is now to try to find some peace, some contentment, some happiness. Okay. Then, once you've found peace, contentment, happiness, once you feel it, and then also, all right, a fourth thing. All right, so don't do it while you're sad. People should be fully allowed to end themselves if they've wanted to for a certain period of time and are not sad. And you talk to them and they're not like upset or anything. Maybe they're just tired or something. And then not when you're sad, and then not if you've never left home. So unless you're not able to leave home, then all right, I guess. Yeah. But if you are able to leave home and you've never done it, and home can mean anything. If you've lived lots of places in the U.S., then home is the U.S. So go outside of it. If you've lived lots of places in, around one little city, then home is that city metropolitan area. Go outside of it. Whatever home is, go outside of it. So for me, home would actually be pretty vast if we include up until the age of 30. Home would be not Western Europe, we'll say Paris, and we'll say the United States. I've lived in a number of different places there, and so then my next step, my next step would be go to Africa, go to Asia, have a whole nother, me in a camper in Africa, driving around Africa. Can you imagine? Yeah. So my steps to an exit: turn 30. Don't be sad. Understand why you were sad. That was the fourth thing that I mentioned but didn't list. And then our previous third thing is now our fourth thing, which is go outside. And then once you've completed those 4 steps, you are 35. You understand what was difficult for you about human society or life or whatever. and you are outside of what you have known. All right, now I feel like you're good. Now I feel like, okay, all right. And I think that anybody who tries to make you feel bad about doing it at that point is an asshole. I include this sad one partly because I was talking to someone the other day, and he called me Francis because he knew me from elementary school and middle school. And I was like, oh no, don't call me that. And so I told him about my life, what I've been up to, and how awesome my life is, how happy I am, um, and that I mean I don't actually like love it here, partly because of the other humans, but and how the humans see themselves. I would like self-aware humans that knew that they were human brains. Anyway, and so I'll continue to work towards that. I'm not gonna be dependent on that happening in my epilogue. But if it did happen, or if I did find, yeah, of course I could, And that's the thing. That's why you have to not be sad, because when you're sad, it's like you can't see reason, right? So, so you owe it to yourself to, if you're, by the way, watching this and this was your last ditch effort, guns loaded and everything. If you're crying, you owe it to yourself to just like unload it and like be reasonable. And I'm not one of those idiots who's telling you an exit is unreasonable. I'm not. But also don't, oh gosh, you don't want them to say it that. I mean, you do what you like. You do what you like. But when I said to him, I don't really want to be here, he said, oh, what do you mean, like on the island, or are you feeling down? And I go, no, I'm not feeling down. Sometimes the party just sucks. Like, every time you leave a party, it isn't because you're just like sad. Sometimes maybe. Sometimes you got in an argument with someone, so you leave. Whatever. Okay, I don't know. But sometimes it's just like dance a bit over there, dance a bit over there, talk to people over there, talk to people over there. I loved it. Obviously, there were difficult pieces, but I'm a pretty positive person, to be honest with you. Like, ask me what's my worst memory. Okay, actually, I will tell you the Zoe thing. But if you like ask me about bad memories, I can't really think of any. I obviously I can think of many times I've been misinterpreted. Okay, but I can't like tell you a time when I've been like sad in my life. Really, I can tell you a time when I was fat and diagnosed with depression. I don't know how sad I was. And there's just no experiences I regret. There was one I was mad about for a while, the arrest thing, especially because I didn't do anything with it, or when I hadn't realized what I was doing with it. But the arrest thing is why I'm in Europe now, because the sight of American police cars made me, oh god, scared and sick to my stomach. There are real consequences to being easily misinterpreted. By the way, I didn't do anything. My charge was resisting arrest. Oh, and public indecency, except they were guessing. Because by the time they arrived, we were fully clothed and nobody had called. We were in an alleyway in the middle of the night. And also, we didn't actually do anything. We were about to. We had started to get undressed, and we saw our car coming. So we got dressed again. But he saw two people. When he came, I came out of the back seat. He was like, oh, I see what's going on here. But he didn't want to arrest me for that. It wasn't until I just wanted to go talk to the other officer because he stopped responding to me. I wanted to get my phone so I could record. And then they grabbed me. And I was like, what the fuck? We all froze. I was like, I just want to ask him for my phone. Guy's just staring at me. So I'm going to walk over there now. Dude's just staring at me. And then spent the night in jail. So I've had an amazing life. I love it. And it's such good stories. Like, none of it is a waste because I'm putting it on here. I think it's just funny stuff. So my point is, I'm a very positive person. But just because you're positive doesn't mean you don't get tired. And look, I don't need people to acknowledge my goodness. It would have been nice, but now I've even okay with them seeing evil where there isn't any. And sometimes I do forget, by the way, because sometimes I think, is it going to be this year? Is it going to be next year? No. It won't be for until at least the 2030s because of this being, right, buddy? He would be put down if I were gone. He would have been put down if I hadn't taken him. The first person he was given to gave him right back because the guy reached for his food or something the first night he had him, and Neo grabbed his arm. Didn't even bite him. No blood, no bite. Just went like this. Guy was like, "Fuck this." Took him back to the guy who gave him to me. So, I'm also, yeah. So we're gonna stick around. What do you got in you? 7 more years? Oh, that sounds so long, but it's fine. Where am I gonna? Where are we gonna go? Are we gonna do Africa for the rest of the decade? Should we go to Africa? And then in 2030 or whenever you go, I'll escort you out the exit. Oh, no, I'm not gonna escort you. I'll be right behind you. I'll accompany you. I'll come with. Just tired. Aren't you tired? Every single time you get close to a dog, it starts growling at you, biting at you. Aren't you exhausted? You can never just go lick their balls in peace. That's them getting scared. No, but seriously. Sometimes you're just minding your own business, and they're like, "Who's this nigga?" And you don't even hear what the humans say. You hear the dogs growling and snapping at you, but you're so autistic you don't even know what it means. But not only do I see that, and am I a little bit better at social codes than you are, gosh, the humans, they freak out. There's a little Pomeranian here on the beach, and I guess it lives in a house nearby, and so every once in a while it's around. And I don't even need to watch when he's with the little dog, because even if the little dog snaps at him or bites him or growls or barks or whatever, he just moves away. And so that's what was happening with the Pomeranian. Anytime he would get close, Pomeranian would... And so they had seen each other a few times, spent some time together, and then the owner was walking by. And Neil starts to go over the Pomeranian. Actually, I didn't really see what happened, so I don't really know whether she panicked or not. I don't need to be acknowledged for my intellectual humility for all the times that I say, "Oh, actually, what I just said might be bullshit." All the times that I say, "Oh, that's definitely bullshit, what I just said." All the times I express ignorance and incompetence and inadequate information. Remember when I was younger, one thing that would frustrate me is it seemed like some people in my life were absolutely convinced I had really low self-esteem and so on, and so they would say nice things to me to encourage me, make me feel better about myself when I didn't need them. I felt pretty good about myself, but maybe we had just had a conversation where for some reason we were talking about a weakness of mine, and I was very clear about this is a big weakness of mine, and I'm okay with that. But I wasn't clear about being okay with that. So I was clear about the weakness. So they're like, oh my gosh, he must think he's weak. He must think he's shit. Because I was clear about something I'm shit at. Then, of course, if I'm ever clear, if I ever dared, and I know I did when I was younger, dare to be clear about something that I'm good at, then I was like, oh, wow, he's got big ego. Big ego. And no, actually, it's quite small. I mean, the ego is about middle-sized. Tired, bro. Lady, you ruined my day. A little breath of fresh air, except it's not actually an environment I can inhale in. That's what it's like. That's what it's like. So you don't give me oxygen. And like, don't let my system think I'm going to be getting oxygen. Fuck no. It's adjusted to this atmosphere. I mean, it's slowly dying, but just enough for me to be here talking to you today. Don't give me oxygen. And then all my capillaries and lungs and shit like have to process that, and then you in about 4 seconds toxic air again. Anyway, so you might, if you're a child, you might think, hey, but Aries, you've had some nice relationships. I've had nice relationships everywhere. And how many of them do I have now? But not only was the contact not necessarily kept, but we're talking about some pretty dramatic, like, I had this friend in college right before I came to France. She had a crush on me. She would do the old trick of, hey, I just want to sleep in your bed, and then start grinding up on me. And then Francis would start to get excited. And Eris didn't really want to do this. So then there'd just be a lot of touching and stuff, and no sleeping. And Eris would never let Francis go all the way. It's just a lot of sleepless nights. This woman going like this, and me going, yeah. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is that we had a great friendship, and then at some point, I was a narcissistic psychopath, and she hoped that I would get help. There's no chapter of my life where I'm not gonna have like a. My other two good friends during that period. So it was Holly, Matthew, and Dominique. All right, Dominique and Matthew. I don't think they ever disliked me or misjudged me. Dominique visited me in France. All right, so 2 out of 3. Okay, that's cool. But it's like when the 1/3 goes narcissistic sociopath, and one you kind of just grow apart, and the other appreciates you. No, frankly, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. And I'm sure my brain's not very good with the numbers, and so, 20% would be enough to make me feel like, oh my gosh, everybody thinks this about me. Yeah, I have ADHD. Yeah, okay. Still tired, though. It's like the thing. It's like, okay, so, hey, you're super tired because you have this weight belt of 40 kilograms around you. Oh, okay, take it off then. Oh no, that's it's not really a weight belt, it's just a part of you. Oh, okay, so I'm gonna continue to be tired then. Yeah, but it's because of the stones around you. Right, but I can't take them off. You don't have any ideas? Seen anybody take them off? No? Okay. So the reality is still that I'm tired then. my mom wanted to encourage me. After on my birthday, we had a conversation about Francis's passing and my temporary occupancy of this body. Occupation. When we talked about that, after that conversation, oh my gosh, I gotta read you the message she sent me. No, I won't be able to do it. I'm not gonna do that. But she kept saying, continue to rebirth and to continue your cycle of blah, blah, blah. And I said to her, what? All of last night I was like, gosh, Mom, can I tell you, I don't have anybody to talk to about this. But when I look at the light at the end of the tunnel, it gives me a lot of peace. And I'm not exiting the tunnel right now. I still have a ways to go. But gosh, seeing that light, it is true. I might pull over and take one of the emergency exits. And also, but you know, I'm smoking and drinking so much. That light actually seems pretty close. And that gives me a great deal of peace, Ma. And I want to be able to say that in a conversation with someone. Someone who understands why I feel that way. And so on. And she said, so I'm so proud of you. Keep up the rebirth and all that. Because that's what she heard. Francis lived a life, killed himself. Then I came along and I got fresh energy. No, I've always fucking been here, bro. I am more tired than Francis was when he killed himself. I mean, no, that's not entirely true because he was partly also tired about his failures to succeed in school and to be able to easily maintain relationships. And that I'm not tired about. I do have a bit of a burst of energy. All right, I don't have to do school. And that's not. So he was tired from having tried college over and over and over again. But look, here's the thing. What I'm doing right now, it's not. It has no future. It has a future beyond my life, I hope, but it has no future. What I'm doing now, one, I can't do forever because my parents can't pay for my food forever. Because right now my car is uninsured because I don't have a driver's license in Europe. I didn't realize that the guy who did my insurance just put it on my ex's name and his own name. So I don't have car insurance. I don't have any way to get car insurance. I don't have a driver's license, but my home is a car. And I'm on this island. And surely at some point I'm not going to have health insurance. I need to take 2 pills every day just to do this. So, and then also, so not only can I not continue to do what I'm doing forever, but also, if anything that I'm doing in this chapter or will be doing in the near future works, I won't be able to do it anymore. If I have a bunch of followers, let's say I have 1 million followers and I'm getting nothing but love in the comments. Well, if you've been watching this whole video, you know how skeptical and wary and waiting for the other shoe to drop I'm going to be being. Second of all, based on past experience, no, I mean, obviously there's going to be hate. Everybody gets hate. And that's fine. I honestly, I don't know. Maybe I could have some real good backup. And so even if I get hate, I've got a strong base of support, maybe. That's absolutely possible. And maybe I can even be so zen that I'm not thinking about when the other shoe's going to drop. I can do that. I'm doing it right now. But 2 things come to mind. One, won't be able to talk about just anything anymore. everybody's watching these videos, one, I can't say just anything about myself. And two, might not be able to say anything about the people that I interact with that inspire me to make these videos, that inspire thoughts that I tell you about. Could change their names, but, you know, and then those relationships. You just told 1 million people that this happened between us? Who can live like that? I understand. So so if I get followers, I'm going to be in quite a bit of a pickle. Another thing that came to mind is that I'm not making the most amazing content, but I do feel like I'm making progress in the projects that matter to me. And I'm basically my only audience right now. I get maybe a comment a month, and then maybe my mother will make some vague statement like, I haven't yet, or I liked the video you posted a week ago. I have no idea what video she's talking about, but whatever. Or she'll say, you know, I see you've been posting. That's awesome. And it is awesome. And thank you for encouraging me. My sister will say, oh, hey, I haven't watched your videos yet. Like, what? It's like 1,000 videos. What do you... Stop texting me all the time that you haven't watched anything. So right now, it's just me and you, buddy. Me and Ma. That's actually quite nice. Wouldn't have it any other way. For at least the 2 reasons I mentioned. The effect that would have on what I work on. Because I'm a human brain. So, people are telling you, don't stop working on this and work on this. You're going to stop working on that and work on that. Unless you're an angel, that's probably what's going to happen. I mean, maybe not. If you have the right people telling you to keep working on this, whatever. Thing is, nobody understands what I'm working on. And all the people who are smart enough to understand what I'm working on seem to be too busy. That's not true. I really honestly do believe that there are people that are watching these videos that just absolutely refuse to comment, that are, you know, not doing anything really with their lives, that are suffering in some of the same ways I am, and that are actually keeping up with the ideas. But the ones that have the confidence to tell me that they're keeping up with the ideas are the ones that have also been validated by society, and so they're busy doing society's missions. All right, maybe the 5th thing would be, in the moment between now and your death, you need to convince me that you believe that a game changer is possible. That's the 5th step. So you're sitting there. If you're me, you're in the Sahara. You're over 30. You're not sad. You know why you were. You know what's frustrating and why you want to leave. And you say, my mind can be changed. And you wait a second for God to intervene just in case. And then you do it. Also, you can throw talking to me in the process. I mean, not really. I mean, if I don't... We're going to see what happens with this woman. In 2017, I was friends with Zoe. You know, or as she would have said it once, I was manipulating and emotionally abusing Zoe. There was a woman that I had met in my store, and I didn't remember any of this, but yesterday looked back at our conversation and saw she just Googled Francis Camper. Camper was the store that I was working for. It's a brand of shoes called Camper. Francis Camper Paris. and found me. And so she sent me a message, so flattering. And I don't know what the message was. Oh, well, the message was, well, I do know what the message was because that's how I know how she found me. The message was, hey, sorry if this is weird, but I just I just searched Francis Camper Paris and found you. It's me from the store today. All right. So we chatted a bit online. I was in this situationship with Zoe, trying to make it just a friendship, but still having sex with her. Honestly, I think it was some of the best I had in my life. Still, to this date. So, look, I'm human. Anyway, so I was interested, I think, in this woman. But we meet up with, we were going to meet up. And I tell her I'm going to bring Zoe along. I'm going to bring my friend along. I don't know whether she thought it was a guy or not. And I remember we're sitting there on the grass, somewhere in Paris, in front of some monument or something. It's nice. I think we're at aux Invalides, à l'hôtel des Invalides, and on the front lawn there. And I didn't want to hurt Zoe, so I know, well, based on the image that I have in my mind, I'm sitting on the grass, Zoe's sitting to my left, and Marion's sitting across from both of us. Which, yeah, I'm sorry. We hadn't really talked about being cute together, but our messages were kind of, they weren't flirty, but we were just having conversations that I don't have unless I am also interested, I guess. And then I show up with another woman. I didn't want to hurt Zoe, and anyway. So she ghosted me after that. And over the next few months, I sent her 2 messages via text and maybe 2 messages on Facebook Messenger or something, maybe 4, I don't know, saying, hey, what's up? And then, wait, are you ignoring me? And then, hey, I'm actually worried. That was back in 2017. And yesterday, or 2 days ago on my birthday, I'm desperately checking all my different apps to see where I've gotten birthday wishes. That's not true. And since we've been so sincere in this conversation, I should be clear about what's a joke and what isn't. But I guess kind of. Well, no, I just saw a notification badge on the messenger thing, and I said 2, and so I opened it up. So happy birthday from someone, and I saw a message from that French woman. She said, hey, sorry if I acted crazy with you. But I had a depressive episode, and I'm doing better now. We saw each other 1 time. How many people has she sent a message to? I think that her eggs are going. And she's got all the reproductive its just trying to find every guy from the past that she doesn't dislike. That's what my guess is. I don't even remember how I felt about her. I don't remember anything about her except for her noticing that her hair was graying when I first saw her. Oh gosh, that's terrible, huh? I remember her being sort of soft and quiet, but smart. Anyway, so I was like, yo, that's wild. Hello. And then she said, no, I'm getting confused. That was not in the same app. The happy birthday wish. No, I was having 2 non-birthday related conversations in Facebook Messenger on my birthday. Okay. So she sent me a message. Hey, would you like to grab a coffee if you're still in Paris? And I thought I was getting that from someone who had just wished me happy birthday on Instagram. One of my favorite ex-girlfriends. And the only reason for me that we're not together is 1, because I, for some reason, couldn't get hard. And 2, because when we were together, we stopped because I was coming to France. So absolutely one of my favorite ex-girlfriends, and I thought that she had sent me that. So I'm so excited. I go, oh, dude, I'd fucking love to, but I can't. I'm in Ibiza. I'd love to. And then the French woman says, okay, no worries, but whenever you're back in Paris. And, gosh, I do love my life. I mean, I am just feeling like king of the hill talking about all these women wanting me, except my ex actually does not want me. She's very happy with someone else, and but just from your perspective, hearing about all these women contacting me, I'm feeling. Anyway, so I realized, by the way, that it wasn't my ex Monica that sent that; it was Marion. So I tell her, listen, I'm sorry. I thought that you were somebody else for your message about getting a coffee. For your previous message, yeah, I knew it was you, but the message about getting coffee, I thought you were someone else. So that might have seemed a little bit fake to you, and that's why. So then I responded a bit more sincerely, which was, yes, what the fuck is up? And can we chat on the phone before, I come back in the summer? I want to know what's going on here. My point was that she doesn't feel accessible to me where I could actually help her. Because here's what happened. See, she told me in the Facebook message that she's feeling better now. But then she like asked me to give her my number. When I said, yeah, we'll get a coffee, but can we also talk before then? She said, yeah, can you give me your number? I already had her number, so I shot her a text. And I sent her a screenshot of our last interaction back in, like, maybe it was January 2018 or something, or no, June 2017 or July, I don't know. Anyway, and in that interaction, it's me. So, well, it's not an interaction. It's me just messaging her, like, hey, what's up? Or no, hey, how are you? And then like 2 months later, I'm really worried. That didn't go through. So then 3 hours later, sending it again. I'm actually worried, or whatever I said. So I sent her a screenshot of that with a laughing emoji. And her response was, I'm okay. I'm on sick leave. Not feeling great or something. Or maybe something about depression. But getting by or something like that. Which is so funny because I thought she was messaging me having gotten better. Not that it actually makes a difference to me. I mean, it does, obviously. But, uh, but, and also I wasn't asking, how are you? I was sending a screenshot of a time when I asked 7 years ago, how are you? So it's like this weird moment where I'm staring at the conversation wondering, is this her message from 2017 finally coming through? Or, and also, am I concerned that I can't tell whether this is 2017 or 2024 energy, even though she's just said, hey, sorry about what happened in 2017, but now I'm better? By the way, in response to that, I told her I have no idea what you're talking about because I didn't. I don't know how she was crazy with me. She ghosted me. That was it. Maybe she had a bunch of crazy thoughts about me, or a bunch of things, or crazy, or things that maybe she was angry with me. Maybe she was angry with me about doing Zoe, and didn't express those things. And but as far as I'm concerned, she didn't do anything at all. She just ghosted me. So I told her I didn't know what she was talking about as far as being crazy. I'm wondering whether I'm going to remember it. Did she do something? I don't think so. Fuck, I had shit to do today. You ruined my day, lady. He said I was nice. Don't fuck with me. I know I am, and that y'all don't know that. Now, you're over here wondering, are you that nice? I haven't watched any of your videos before, but for some reason I sat down for 2 hours for this one. And you're over here laughing about this depressed girl. Alright. Go watch some of my other videos to understand sort of have a better understanding of how the mind works. Because when you phrase it like that, I'm laughing about this depressed girl, that does show. That definitely shows. Oh, that wasn't this video I talked about shopping. That was another video I recorded today. That definitely shows. But the whole point of me bringing her up was actually that I'm nervous that I don't know whether I'll be able to help. So, right, because earlier I had said, if you're feeling suicidal, come talk to me. But then I was like, oh, wait. As much as I'm happy to listen, I mean, not forever, but I promise you, the first person who's feeling... No, that's so terrible, because then since you can't know whether you're the first person to call me, you're like... and then you call, and I'm like, oh, no, you're the second person. Shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear you. That's terrible. I'm laughing out of humor because it's hilarious. That sort of contrast between me saying, hey, call me, and I want to try to help. Except you won't know whether I'm going to actually help or I'm going to tell you, no, fuck off. You're the second person to call. You can't kill yourself if you're not able to laugh about things. So if you're offended, you're not ready. But then it's also just like I can't guarantee that I'm gonna understand your it. And if I don't understand your it's like I can't help. And then that's just an uncomfortable, boring experience. Not even boring, just really, yeah, boring and tedious and uncomfortable. Because it's like, gosh, you're talking to me here. See, you're depressed. I don't really understand it well enough to... what if all I need to do is understand? What if I'm just focused on listening, asking questions, and understanding? If I just have to know, is that helping you? I have to know you and your it's well enough to know what's happening in our conversations. I don't need to be able to help you not be depressed, but I would like to know what is happening in conversations. I don't really know what I'm saying. All right, last whiskey, and then we have to sober up and go do some shit. Surely Beatrice is missing us by now, right? Hopefully, when we stop this recording, we'll see if we've gotten a message. Someone we can flirt with, kiss a little bit. And God, I'm so lucky. Sometimes I think, this is stupid. But I'm going to say it anyway, because there are things communicated when I'm going to say that are true. I sometimes think I'm the handsomest, funniest, most confident, smartest, most positive person that's going to have killed themselves. Or, I'm not going to kill myself, but indirectly. I've had nothing but a good life. So, by the way, I don't want anyone, well, it might happen, humans might twist this video and say, oh, it's 2 hours from talking about how sad he is and how his life is. Nope. I've been exceptionally lucky. Luckier. I would put myself as far as life, sort of like luckiness and value and privilege. Easily 90th percentile. Easily 90th percentile. I'd probably go as high as 99th percentile. Parents still together. Loving parents. Didn't experience poverty. Don't have some disfigurement. I'm even kind of handsome. I don't start drooling when people talk to me. I mean, I'm just. You don't have to, before you kill yourself, see how, or if you, maybe you weren't lucky in life. Maybe you're in the 10th percentile, but. Anyway. Sometimes I don't even know who I'm talking to. Like, gosh, human intelligence is such a spectrum that it's amazing. When I talk to that kid I mentioned, whenever I talk to someone who is in my standard deviation, it feels like talking to another species. And it's quite a shocking reminder that I'm not as alone as I sort of often think that I am. For instance, last summer, a friend from high school, from, a smart high school that I went to, or the high school that I went to that was a smart people high school, he came, and holy shit, we're able to have a conversation. Holy shit, this is incredible. How I'm able to say things, say that you understand them, and then you say things, and some of the things that you say are even fucking new or interesting to me. Holy shit. It was amazing. And then just a few days ago, or yesterday, when I talked to my buddy from middle school, holy shit. I can speak and you understand what I'm saying? Holy shit. So obviously that's another potential game changer. So if I somehow find smart people who also can afford me the benefit of the doubt. Yeah. But, and I can handle being heartbroken again. I think I can handle counting on it. Them betraying me. I've been through the cycle of not betraying them, letting me down. I've been through the cycle enough. Zoe, Holly, Lee. What was his fucking name? Lee Howe? No, wasn't it? Didn't he use an English name? Leo Chong. Okay, Leo. Leo, Holly, Zoe. The groups of Wilson, Camper, City Year. I mean, those groups are important. It doesn't sound like a lot, though, does it? Look, I am pretty positive. I'm still fucking here, aren't I? And it's nice that I'm able to, without anybody crying or freaking out or accusing me of anything, able to talk about how I don't like it here. But also, I love it. I do love it. I love it. I love meeting new people. Can't count on them to be there for me a year later to know me or anything, but it's lovely. People love me at first. People absolutely love me. No, not true. But the people that I spend time with, the new friends that I make, absolutely love me. Obviously, there are lots of people that don't become new friends because they're like, oh, he wants his dog to bite everybody. But anyway, so yeah, just a little bit more. And it just sucks because anybody who would be open to talking about it, about wanting to exit, unalive yourself, there are a lot of people who are completely 100% categorically against suicide. That because they're categorically against it, make themselves available to talk about it. It's not the same thing talking to someone who's categorically against it, and so everything you say, they find a bullshit response to. To be able to talk to someone who's like, I get it, and if after this call you want to do that, absolutely, bro. I'm just hoping that in this call we can understand why that's happening, and I want to know whether that's what's best for you as well, because it won't feel great if when you kill yourself, I don't understand why it happened. So. Is that a system? Could we do something like that? If you want to die, whether you're sure about it or not, whether you're sure about whether you're going to act on it or not, you can send me an email. I do not promise to read and respond to it, and I know that's shitty. I just don't want to promise that. Because I'm just thinking of in some crazy universe where I get 1,000 of these in a year, um, or let's say 2,000, let's say over 1,000 a year. I obviously can't engage with that. I'm a human brain. So I can't promise you that I'm going to read it. But it's just a good exercise for you. Send me an email. First of all, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, showing me that you've done the 5 steps. You've turned 30. You're not sad. You know why you want to go. You've left the things that you know. And you know that it's possible for a game changer. Send me that email. And it's really just a good exercise for you as well. And as someone who is okay with the choice of suicide and someone who's super smart, if I can, no, honestly, if I want to, and there's 8 billion people, I don't want them all. I mean, there are lots of good people that are going to send me an email and that are, nobody's going to send me an email. But if good people, what should I say? You know what I hate? How I'm not Superman. Okay. And before I use this analogy, I am not Superman. Meaning, I am not capable. I am not exceptionally capable. No, I'm not. I don't have. I'm not an. I was gonna say I'm not an Ubermensch, but actually, sometimes I think that I am. Look, anyway, I'm not Superman. Okay, that's where we're gonna have to leave it because every time I try to give it detail, I'm like, that is kind of true about me. So anyway, I'm not Superman, and but sometimes I think about how you never see Superman like deciding to work at the Daily Planet or hang out with Lois Lane instead of saving someone. He's in New York. Oh no, he isn't. Oh no, he isn't. He's in Gotham universe. So he's in the DC universe. So he's in not Gotham. Where is he? Central City or something? Okay. Anyway, it's based on New York, right? So there's millions of people, and he can hear a long way away. If he wanted, he could spend every waking minute saving people, and he does not do that. He has his own life. Or the series Supergirl. She's over there being her little receptionist secretary or whatever, literally capable of saving anybody and everybody in the world. And they never show you. It's like the character never has to make that choice. You never see the character go, I see that, I hear that woman being raped over there, but I'm on a date right now. The human brain would explode if it had to. Because I know no human would think that Superman has to be like a dog, just absolutely miserable and exhausted, running around the world saving people. But also, you can't imagine him not saving someone. When you imagine there's 8 billion people, someone literally always needs some very dramatic. Like right now, there is a child being raped. Right now. I can just about guarantee it. All right, that's too dark for me. That's too dark for me. I can just about guarantee it. Anyway, so the point is, as an exercise for yourself, no promises on my end, as an exercise for yourself, show me the 5 steps. And then, you know what? If you get a response from me, in which I don't say, this is stupid, you're wrong, you got the go ahead. What about that? I don't know. That's too much. That's a lot of responsibility, but I feel like I'm giving something really amazing, because I feel like there are a lot of people that are absolutely miserable and would like to leave, but feel so guilty about it, but still feel absolutely miserable about the other stuff, and I'll give that to you. I mean, no. Gosh. You know how they're going to remember me? Dr. Kovorian? Dr. whatever his name is? No, I'm not going to validate everybody. I'm not gonna, oh gosh, what am I doing? What am I saying? A little bit more whiskey and maybe it'll become clear. Look. I don't want to say anything that's going to get anyone to kill themselves. But I do want to give peace to people that are going to kill themselves. So if you've lived, if you can show me that you've tried, that you've given it a chance, and I'm pretty easily convinced for that. 30 years, I'm not asking for a lot. If I was asking for the absolute minimum, it would be 26 years for the brain to finish its development processes. I'm asking a 30 so that you have some time with that. Or it would be 27, I guess, because you do need some time with the developed brain. But I'm pretty close to the minimum. I'm going 30 for now, and I have the right to change this in a future video. I don't have the right to change it on a case-by-case basis, but if I can send you a link saying, oh, look, no, I changed my mind about the age, then if you want to respect it, then you got to respect the new age. Because, see, I'm only 33, so what the fuck do I know? I might get to 43 and be like, all right, it makes 0 sense to kill yourself before 40. And then when I'm 53, and then when I'm 63, all right, 63, I'm not staying past that. You, by the way, this is legal. This is legal permission right now. Hopefully our justice system is reasonable in 30 years. It won't be. But if it is, this is legal permission. No, I don't want to give people permission to kill me after 65 if I'm still alive. Whoa, I don't want to do that. Why would I still be alive at 60? Because either I found other humans I can be with, or I have a responsibility to someone, or something, or some being. Alright, never mind. All you Dexters out there, I'm sorry. I can't give you that permission. But, that said, if there is a Dexter watching this. There's a little sociopath murderer watching this. I don't actually know how I want to die yet. I don't even know how you could contact me. I'm not on the dark web or anything. Just bookmark this video, and if you know a way of contacting me without incriminating yourself, do it. Again, it won't be this year, but yeah, I might need you. If this doesn't do the fucking job, I might need you. I think I talked about everything I could possibly talk about. So, fortunately, since I feel an obligation toward you, I can't keep you any longer, even though I was really enjoying the company. I'm gonna roll a joint, maybe take a nap. All right, bye, buddy.